Well, we have complete coverage of today's decision by Germany. I'm joined tonight by Hans-Jakob Schindler. He is with the Counter-Extremism Project in New York and Berlin, and he spent time in Iran as the security liaison at the German embassy in Tehran. And joining me tonight from Beirut in Lebanon is DW's correspondent, Basel Aridi. To both of you gentlemen, welcome. Basel, let me start with you. Hezbollah is based in Lebanon. It is in the parliament. It is a force to be reckoned with in the country. Has there been any reaction to Germany's decision?
Oh, Brent, there is nothing today but the sound of silence. I tried to have some comments from a governmental side or Hezbollah as well, but they refused to do so. Today, at the same time, there was a cabinet meeting to discuss the current issues in Lebanon, but they didn't come across this topic, as well as there was the weekly meeting for Hezbollah and Peace Bloc, and in their press conference, they didn't comment at all about this issue. Usually, such comments will be handled by Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah, but in Ramadan, the holy month for the Muslims, usually he focuses on the religious issues and keep the political stance until the last Friday of this month, which is called by Hezbollah Al-Quds Day or Jerusalem's Day.
Yeah, okay, so silence there in Beirut. Mr. Schindler, the German foreign minister announced this decision in a tweet today, and the first reason that he listed was Hezbollah's refusal to recognize the right of Israel to exist. Did that surprise you? Because that is nothing new. There's nothing new in that statement.
Thank you very much for having me. Obviously, as you already pointed out, this decision came after a long deliberation. Even the parliamentary vote at the end of last year was the last stage in a very public, very long discussion here. You have to look at Hezbollah in two ways. At the one hand, this is a terrorism group, and I think today's decision reaffirmed that it is. But it also is a veritable crime network, including inside Germany. Racketeering, gun running, drug dealing were all parts of what Hezbollah or the sympathizers and members of Hezbollah did in Germany to raise funds for the organization.
So what is the big threat to Germany, Mr. Schindler? Is it Hezbollah, the terrorist group, or Hezbollah, the criminal gang, money launderers?
Both are a problem. However, you cannot treat the terrorist aspect of the group without declaring it a terrorist group. And you cannot treat the terrorist aspect of the group if you just simply only refer to it as a crime problem. Now that public life is very much gone online, we've seen a ramp up of online activities of Hezbollah as well in Germany. And without today's decision, there would be nothing that can be done. With today's decision, of course, they can.
The U.S. ambassador to Germany released a statement today praising Germany's decision. Ambassador Richard Grinnell wrote, and we can show our viewers that, Germany's efforts to confront this threat, especially its legal ban on any Hezbollah activities on German soil, are exactly what is needed throughout Europe. We call on all European Union member states to take similar action. So that's from the U.S. ambassador. Mr. Schindler, today's move could be seen as Berlin falling into line behind Washington. Is that what has happened?
To be very frank, this is not the first U.S. administration who called for Germany to look at Hezbollah more closely and to call at the European Union to look at Hezbollah more closely. So in a way, this is not a process that started with this U.S. administration, and this is not a decision that Germany took because of the U.S. administration, as far as I can see.
Basel, you know, up until recently, or very recently, the German government refused to ban Hezbollah because of the group's presence in Lebanon and in the Lebanese parliament. Will Germany's decision hurt Hezbollah's credibility among the Lebanese people? What do you think?
Let me put it this way. Germany, according to Hezbollah, is a neutral and a trusty partner, especially as mediator. In the past 2 decades, Germany played a very important role between Hezbollah and Israel in exchanging the prisoners of war. And according to this, at least succeeded at least in 2 times to finalize the pause deal. According to Hezbollah as well, this mediator is trusty, as I said, and neutral. And after the war in July 2006, Germany deployed around 150 of its soldiers in South Lebanon among the UN peacekeepers known as UNIFIL, according to the UN Security Council Resolution 1701. And the main part here, let me say, maybe it's a shock somehow, because Germany, according to Hezbollah, it's the closest European friend to Iran. And as well as Germany is also as one of the Iran's commercial partners with Iran.
Yeah, that's interesting. Germany does have those ties with Iran.
Yeah.
Mr. Schindler, Syria has condemned Germany's decision today. How big of a role is Hezbollah playing in conflicts around the world, such as the war in Syria?
Well, I mean, as I think it's pretty well known that Hezbollah is definitely an indispensable force multiplier for the Assad regime. It is supporting the Iranian operations on the ground there with manpower pretty much from the start. So it does play a very significant role. In South America, as my organization, the Counter-Extremism Project, showed in a report 2018, Hezbollah is very much involved in a massive amount of cigarette smuggling and commodity smuggling to finance its activities. It is involved in the smuggling of drugs in North Africa. All of those drugs are bound for Europe, nowhere else. So in a way, it is a multifaceted organization that is not just a political organization. It is definitely a terror organization. It's also a crime network. And as I said, today's decision was a long deliberated, controversially deliberated decision in Germany. It didn't come overnight.
Bassel, before we run out of time, let me just ask you, Lebanon is a country in turmoil. You've got protests because of the economic crisis. You have the pandemic lockdowns. Yes. Now you've got Germany banning Hezbollah. Am I right in saying that it seems like things are going from bad to worse in Lebanon?
Regarding the financial and economical and social issues in Lebanon, yes, it is. But when it comes to Hezbollah, the General Secretary for Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, mentioned too many times before that the financial, cycle for Hezbollah is completely different from the national one. They don't deal with the national banks. All their money didn't come across the banking sectors in Lebanon. So they have their own financial chain.
All right, DW correspondent Bassel Aridi giving us the latest from Beirut, and Hans-Jakob Schindler with the Counter-Extremism Project in New York and Berlin. To both of you gentlemen, thank you.